Hello everyone, my name is Mary Elizabeth, and I decided to create a video instead of writing to tell you guys about my final paper. So I am creating a curricular change paper, and I would like to essentially, in this curricular change paper, I would like to create a professional development that focuses on social sciences teachers, and the goal is really to give social sciences teachers quality, reliable sources that they can use in their classroom to teach about social movements, particularly the women's suffrage movement and the civil rights movements of the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. My working title right now is Using Various Primary Sources to Change the Narrative of Social Movements. So any suggestions on that would be great. Not good at writing titles. So anyway, my working thesis right now is this. By providing social sciences teachers with varying primary sources, teachers will be able to change the way that he or she teaches the women's suffrage movement and civil rights movements. With teachers changing the way that they teach these subjects, ultimately it will bring about change in the way that students learn about and view events in the women's suffrage movement and civil rights movements. So I really wanted to create this kind of professional development based on what we discussed in one of our class meetings. I think it was either at Vulcan Park or at the art museum, because y'all mentioned that you had never learned about these subjects before in the way that we had taught them. So I really want to change. I want to give sources to give to teachers so that they can change the way they teach these subjects, so they're not just the standard what we've always learned, because the textbook is boring and sources like this can be fun. So some sources that I found so far that I am going to be using. I found some photographs from a women's suffrage movement march in New York City in 1915, and it's very evident what these women are doing. A lot of them had their kids with them, so I want to show students with these photographs. I use the Library of Congress quite a bit because they have excellent teacher resources. They have created a series of books that focus on broad topics in American history, and they have gathered primary sources about these topics, and they've put them in a book. And so I found, because it's been 100 years since women had earned the right to vote, I have a women's suffrage book this year, and I'm really excited about this source because they have written primary sources, they have photographs, they have political cartoons, they have just so many things. They even have songs that are about the women's suffrage movement. So I'm super excited about this source. I'm thinking about using the Chicano videos that we used the other day in class. There are four parts, so I'll have to choose which part that I use, but I would like to talk about the Mexican American Civil Rights Movement as well. I also am going to be using some books about the Civil Rights Movement in Birmingham, particularly Birmingham Sunday, this way. I might use this book. This is a possibility. We'll see. It's about the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing. I'm definitely going to be using We've Got a Job. It's about the 1963 Birmingham Children's March. And I'm excited about this book because it actually uses personal anecdotes about students that participated in the march, and it talks about them actually before the march, during the march, and after the march, even about them today. So I'm excited about this book because it uses personal anecdotes. Then there's a series of books that were written by Senator John Lewis, and they're called March. And they're about the civil rights movement as well. What I like about these is that they are basically, they're written like a comic book. They're graphic novels, and what's really cool about them is that, I don't know if you can see, but they are written in completely in black and white. They don't use color, which is really cool. I will probably be, there are 3 books, and I'll probably use book 2 more than any of them. But anyway, so there's just a quick summary of what I'm doing so far. I look forward to any and all suggestions that you might have. So anyway, thank you in advance, and good luck on your paper.